you've got it.
Gentlemen, I give you the treasure of the Caribbean, rum.
Can we tell them? Tell them it is no longer a secret.
When rum was first brought to England in the 17th century, it was the secret of a privileged few. Only they knew the real treasure of the Caribbean, the liquid gold of the tropics, rum. Jamaica, a jewel of an island. Spanish traders came here and planted cane sugar, but left it to others to turn it into rum, the drink which captures the passionate spirit of the Caribbean to this day.
Rum and coconut water, rum and coconut water, rum and coconut water. You can have it over Great Britain, then I tell you, rum and coconut water, rum and coconut water, rum and coconut water. You cannot have it over Great Britain. Sometimes I want you to know how calypso got to go. Sometimes I want you to know everybody's singing so wild, then I tell you, rum and coconut water, rum and coconut water, rum and coconut water. Cannot have it over Great Britain. Sometimes I want you to know how calypso got to go. Sometimes I want you to know you can have it over.
Jamaicans know all about rum, but the man who knows more than most is actor Keith Foote, proprietor of The Little Pub, and acknowledged as the island's champion mixer of rum punches.
Rum and coconut water, rum and coconut water. You cannot have it over Great Britain. Sometimes I want you to know how calypso got to go.
A little rum, a little magic, and there's a drink to remember.
Rum and coconut water, rum and coconut water, rum and coconut water. Cannot have it over Great Britain. Sometimes I want you to know how calypso got to go. Sometimes I want you to know you can have it over Great Britain. Then I tell you, rum and coconut water, rum and coconut water, rum and coconut water. You cannot have it over Great Britain. Yeah.
A sugar estate in Jamaica, one of the plantations from which United Rum merchants draw the basic ingredient for fine Jamaica rums. Here, rotated crops of sugarcane are harvested twice a year, cut and brought to the factory, where its rich molasses syrup is used to produce rum with a distinctive Jamaican flavor. A certain something that comes from the soil, the sunshine, the atmosphere, and Jamaica's own production techniques. These are called pot stills. A substantial quantity of Jamaican rum is produced, even today, by this traditional pot still process. And testing the caramel, made from burnt sugar, by adding it to the strong spirit, is another skill which relies on generations of accumulated knowledge. Important ingredients in the production of lemon heart, the truly Jamaican Jamaica rum. Equally distinctive, but different, is Black Heart rum. And the difference is about 1,000 miles. Guyana, where the Demerara River flows into the ocean and gives its name to Demerara sugar. It's a land of dikes and houses on stilts, which owes much to early Dutch settlement here in South America. And this is Uitvlugt, one of the distilleries in Guyana from which United Rum obtained their spirit. It's surrounded by a Demerara sugar plantation on 24 square miles of land, all reclaimed from the sea. Here, the sugar fields are prepared for new planting every 4 years. The newly ploughed land is sprayed with fertilizer before the new canes are planted. And planting is simplicity itself. Lengths of budding cane, about 18 inches long, called sets, are buried in the rich, fertile earth and take root. Finally, it's dusted over with insecticide. All it needs now is sunshine and large amounts of water, brought by canals which serve both for irrigation and later for transportation. The result, Demerara sugar, ripe and ready for harvest. Firing the cane burns off excess leaves. This has to be done when the leaves are dry so that they burn quickly and easily without damaging the cane. Each field is about 1,000 yards long, but takes little more than 20 minutes to burn. When the fires die down, the cane is ready for cutting, work for razor-sharp cutlasses and expert hands. The cutters work in teams, along with loaders who pile the cut cane into canal barges. They work hard and fast, since they are paid by the weight of cane they send to the factory. But one of the few things that can slow them down is cricket. It only needs one of the periodic visits from the Australian test team, and the sugar harvest is stumped by the excitement of a test match.
There's no cricket on Monday, so I think that we might well have to close down for the weekend due to the cricket.
So it looks very much, we'll have to give the boys a holiday for sugar, for cricket, and then we carry on with sugar afterwards.
Right.
Okay.
But when the harvest is in full swing, they use oxen to bring the barges from the small canals to the main channels where tractors take over. And streams of barges converge on the factory where the cane will be processed. Here, the plantation barges are joined by others, bringing cane from smaller, independently owned sugar fields. For to keep pace with demand, the intake of sugarcane is almost continuous, cricket or not.
This is Radio Demerara, the sportsman's choice.
Well, the Australians are out there, and the most energetic one of all is Chief Stackpole, who's gone, I think, about 50 lengths clear of the
Every
field.
barge is numbered so that its load can be weighed and recorded.
Sanghu has thrown him the ball, which he in turn throws to Rodney Marsh. Rodney Marsh, this thick-set, chirpy wicketkeeper.
The barge number and the load are recorded automatically, and payment made to the cutting teams, either from the plantation or the independent producers.
For Guyana in the last match against the Australians, and beside him, Geoffrey Greenwich.
From the weighbridge, the sugarcane is tipped down a chute onto milling machines below. Here, the cane is crushed and the juice extracted. The pulp that remains being used to fuel the factory furnaces. But the important part is this, unrefined juice. After the juice is extracted, it's pumped to evaporating pans where the sugar crystals are formed. They remain in the uncrystallized residue, molasses, until the mixture is passed through centrifugal separators. Here, the sugar crystals are separated from the molasses, which only now begins the process which will convert its residual sugars into alcohol for subsequent distillation into rum. And this is the thick, rich, sweet liquid which forms the basis of rum as we know it. Molasses is brought to the distillery from surrounding factories either by road tanker or by barge. Although at Uitvlugt, where the distillery was built alongside the factory, It's fed along pipelines to giant storage tanks. There are 6 tanks here, each holding up to 120,000 gallons. The delicate process of converting raw molasses into pure rum begins here in the laboratory, where chemists add a precise amount of yeast to exactly 100 cc's of purified molasses, now called wash, a mixture of molasses and water calculated to provide the ideal environment in which yeast cells may flourish and so convert the sugar in the wash into alcohol. After 8 hours, this yeast-enriched wash is added to a further 500 cc's to continue fermenting. Another 8 hours, and the second batch is now added to 1 gallon of wash. At the end of a further 8 hours, the fermenting wash is mixed with another 22 gallons. It's a continuing process, keeping pace exactly with the fermentation. 50 more gallons are added. Then 500 gallons, 1,000, and finally that is introduced into 11,000 gallons. Now vigorously fermenting, and it all began with a single yeast cell. After fermentation, the wash is pumped to steam-heated stills, where modern distillation techniques will allow the distiller to produce a variety of types of rum. Each type will have a slightly different count of the vital flavor-giving properties that distinguish rum from other spirits. Part of the distilling process at Uitvlugt is remote controlled. But testing the spirit for purity is best done by experienced men. Their job is to see to it that the spirit which leaves the distillery is of a uniformly high quality, fit for the world's best rums. Lamb's Navy is one of them, the toast of the Aussies after their test victory in Guyana. But long before it gets into the bottle, the spirit has to be shipped to United Rum Merchants' maturing and blending plant in Britain. At the distillery, it's piped into 42-gallon casks, specially made from American oak. They take only about 2 minutes to fill, and from here they are rolled out, ready to be taken to the docks. Georgetown, capital of Guyana, is the gateway of the Demerara rum trade. The ships that leave here follow the same trade routes by which rum was first brought to England under sail nearly 300 years ago. In those days, the journey took weeks, and the cargo was a few precious barrels. Today, modern ships make the voyage within days and carry up to 5,000 barrels each.
Okay, go ahead.
But modern handling techniques move towards increasing use of bulk container tanks, varying in size from 500 to 5,000 gallon capacity. And this lovely corner of Britain is the end of the journey, the United Rum Merchants plant at Dumbarton, Scotland, where the rum is stored and matured. The duty-paid value of each barrel of rum is just under £1,000. There are some 15,000 barrels in this warehouse, and this is only one of many warehouses, all packed with pure spirit, maturing, developing, improving. On arrival, however, every barrel is opened. This is the final quality control test before the spirit is left to mature in bond. A small quantity is taken from each cask with an instrument known in the trade as a flange. Small bottles of spirit are labelled and taken to the sample department, where they await the attention of United Rum's chief blender, Bill Jeff. And this is the man who actually determines the rum you drink and enjoy. His job is to pass judgment on each sample and to decide which shall be blended together to produce just the right taste. He does it all by nose, but behind that quick sniff is 30 years' experience. Once the rum has matured, it's blended according to Mr. Jeff's selection. The chosen barrels, hundreds of them, are pumped into 10,000-gallon blending vats and mixed for 24 hours before being put back into casks for further maturation and finally diluted to an exact proof level. Then, on its way to the bottling plant, all the rum is refrigerated. This is done to ensure that United Rum products remain stable throughout their shelf life. And now at last, the blended rum, the product of many combined skills, is bottled. The rum is inspected for colour and clarity. This is a demanding job, and the girls work in relays for only 15 minutes at a time. And so the whole careful, highly skilled process of rum making is complete. And all that needs to be added are the labels, famous names that have become synonymous with all that is best in rum. Still favourites among rum drinkers are names like Lamb's Navy, a fine traditional rum. Black Heart, dark, full-bodied. And Lemon Heart, golden rum from Jamaica, blended for today's taste. From United Rum Merchants' plant, they are sent all over the world, wherever people of taste demand the finest. Which is not to say that these rum makers are content to rely on tradition alone. New blends, like this more subtle white rum, Santiago, have been developed to keep pace with the modern demand for something new, something different, something refreshing. When rum was first shipped to England in the 17th century, only the privileged could enjoy it. Today, anyone can savor the delicious taste of Santiago with orange juice, blackcurrant, or just plain water. Perhaps with Coke, maybe with tonic water, or if you prefer, with bitter lemon. Whatever your taste, there's a rum to match the moment, whether you're ashore or afloat. There's a lot to be said for rum. You can mix it with anything, drink it with anyone, and enjoy it anywhere. And for that matter, you can drink it whenever you like. Add a few cubes of ice and it'll cool and refresh you in the midday sun. Lemon Heart, Black Heart, Santiago or Lamb's Navy, they all await your pleasure. Add hot water and rum with a punch will warm a winter evening. There are no rules about rum, that's one of the nice things about it. Others are its clean taste, its its versatility, its sheer conviviality. Try some, try your luck, try rum. There's no longer any secret about it. It's a winner.